Hello?
Hello.
I'm sorry, I saw your fire over the hill. I didn't mean to, spook you. If I did, I saw some biters over there and I took care of them myself.
Ah, no worries. So what's your name, friend?
Name's, Daryl.
Daryl. Name's Jaeger.
Jacob, I don't want any problems. I heard a gun wiggle over there on the side of the fence, and, I don't mean to cause any trouble.
I think we're good. No trouble with me, at least.
I think I'll get your folks' hair. I don't want to be a burden.
Stay safe.
Likewise. I don't mean to bother again, but I actually had a question for you folks.
Oh yeah, sure.
I'm trying to head south, and I was wondering if you folks know anything about going on down there. 'Cause, the north is, not really a place for me anymore these days.
I know a fair bit about in the northwest side, but not too much on the eastern.
Alright. Well, that's a shame. I'm trying to figure out the best route down there. I've been down there a couple times, but, unfortunately, by oneself, it's a little dangerous, considering there's a lot of wolves and bears down there. And,
Oh yeah.
it's a bit of a journey at the same time, but that's where I'm planning on going.
Yeah, no, we haven't been down there. We've been staying in in these areas for the most part. Sorry, we don't have any information for you.
Nah, no worries. Maybe you know more about, north here. What do you know about the people who live around here?
There's a lot of people in this area, actually, which is kind of why we migrated this way, just to see if there's anyone who might need some help. So far, we haven't actually come into contact with anybody, though. We just see lots of either ruins or not so in use settlements. There's a lot of building in this area.
Well, I can give you some information.
You want to
maybe.
come in by chance? We got food, and there's water right here if you need either of them.
I might as well then come in. By the way, do you guys know a man out there named John by any chance?
No, we do not.
Alright. I hear people are looking for him. That's why I ask.
No, we have not met anyone that goes by John's yet. I mean, I'm assuming he's an important person around here. If that many people are looking for him.
I used to run a place called New Hope a while back, and I guess people are after him now because he did something. Something horrible.
No, that doesn't sound good. If you don't mind me asking, what exactly did he do?
From what I heard is, he killed a kid. I hear a bunch of reasons on why he did it, but I don't know which ones to believe.
Huh. Well, I actually haven't heard anything about any kid killing lately. But then again, not to sound heartless, but a lot of kids have been killed recently. We kind of are in a peculiar moment in time where it doesn't matter what age you are, everyone's gonna die.
Yeah.
Either because they did something wrong or because they just happen to be in the wrong place.
It's real unfortunate. I wish the kids didn't have to grow up in a world like this. I wish they had a better opportunity. These days, that's no place for them anymore. I could tell you, I could tell you about the groups who live around here, though, and a little bit about them. No, I don't think I got your name.
Awfully kind of you.
By the way.
You can just call me Marauder.
Marauder, my name's Daryl. And your friend was Jaeger, right?
Yes, sir.
That's correct.
Nice to meet you, Daryl.
Likewise. Well, I guess I'll tell you a story then. Now, down the road past Toppling, there's a small town called Radicaz, and they have a farm right next to it, one of those big silos like the one we have here down the road that way. There's a farm there called New Hope, and they take a lot of people, and they're good folks. They have good hearts there. But I think since the John incident, I think they've well, I don't know what's going on there anymore. I think they might have part ways or something. I'm not sure. But it sounds like it was pretty bad. And then down the road a little farther by a bridge on a crossroads, there's a hut or a shack down there that's been fortified. A man named Mitch lives there. He's a good guy. He's got a good heart. Got a good head on his shoulders. He looks out for a lot of people. It's kind of the place a lot of travelers end up sometimes, and he tends to help people out. If you find him on a good time, he usually has a moonshine, and he does enjoy a good drink or two. A lot of people come by, bring a moonshine, things like that. I guess a little far.
Sorry to interrupt you. You want some food?
I'm good. I recently hunted some deer. I ate.
Alright, sorry, you can continue.
A little farther down the river, there's a place called, I guess, Morgan's or Pavlovo Traders, whatever they call themselves now. I'm not 100% sure, but they built themselves into an old military building, and they sell a lot of guns there. They have, from what I hear, a pretty good selection, and the guy who runs the place is called Morgan. And then a little farther down the river, you have Tarno. And Tarno is another town. From what I hear, it's kind of like the Wild West. A lot of people show up there. A lot of guns. And there's a woman down there named Bethany, and she, pardon me, she sells weapons and other things as well. But when it comes to the south, there's a town called Nabor. From what I hear, it's pretty fucked up there. I don't know if there's any stores down there, anything like that, but I know people live down there. And then on the other side of the south, there's I forget the name of the town, but there's some traders who sit up there as well. But I don't think they're there anymore. Last time I was through there a long time ago, it was a ghost town.
Yeah, I don't think we've come into contact with any of those people just yet.
Well, you folks are right,
Ready
though.
to-
The north has a lot of people. A lot of them.
Too many in your opinion?
I don't know about that, but I know there's a lot of folks. I would say a lot of good folks, mostly. A lot of people just trying to get by the best they can with what they have.
Yeah. Are we all?
Wow.
Yeah, just trying to get back to the way things were before all this shit happened.
Where are you folks from, if you don't mind me asking?
We came from Chernobyl. Things went a little sour out that direction, so we kind of were pushed out here.
Yeah, I was there too. I can understand probably what you went through then.
Yeah, it wasn't, I don't even know how to describe what exactly was going on. A lot of bad shit. It's the easiest way to...
Yeah, I saw all of it firsthand on my way out of there. unfortunate what happened there. A lot of good people died. For nothing.
Put it. Very true. Seems like we have a couple things in common in that aspect then. Lost more friends than we were hoping to.
Did you leave during the winter, or did you leave before that?
A little bit before that. We knew the winter was going to get bad, and things were already getting really bad, so we thought it was high time to just get out of there before we lost more. But then, of course, on the way here, we lost everything that we were trying to keep alive, trying to keep together. Now you're looking at what's left.
Well, I'd say you left at a good time then, despite losing people. Winter got real bad there. Couldn't grow any crops. Animals are sparse. And to make things worse, there's this fog that would roll in smelling like chemicals, and it would choke you real bad. To make matters worse, usually it's accompanied by a horde of biters in the hundreds of thousands. And usually what would rally up such a horde, there were folks out there called the Spades. They would play classical music over the radio. That would draw them in, and they would throw red smoke grenades, fire gunshots in your direction to track the horde there, and then next thing you know is you're stuck in there for days, weeks, run out of food because it's freezing to death that night because it's middle of winter. It was a bad time. That's why most of us left. Got real bad that way. I don't know if you've ever seen a horde that big before, but it's not an easy sight.
You were saying people were directing the hordes at, like, encampments and in settlements?
Yeah, use them as weapons. They had
Holy shit.
They had this thing where they wanted people to learn to fend for themselves, and they had a message saying, those who have walls, who seek shelter in the old world, are not meant to be here for long, and we're trying to get people to become more nomadic or something like that, but they're doing it in very aggressive and violent ways.
How can you become nomadic if you're getting swarmed by hordes of zombies? Or hordes of infected, whatever the fuck these things are. Their message and their actions seem to pretty much contradict each other.
I don't know what kind of people they are exactly, but I've heard stories. I don't know what is accurate and what's not, unfortunately. I've heard things along the line that they still have satellites, and some of the reason some of the helicopters are crashing is because they have ballistic weapons and they take down any aircrafts. I've also heard the ones responsible for this infection as well. The ones who engineered it. There's a lot of things like that I hear. I even heard someone saying that it's in the medicine, it's in the chlorine tablets, things like that. Tablets. I don't know about that. I didn't hear that from a good source, but I hear a lot of stories.
Hopefully that's just what most of them are. Hopefully they're just stories.
I can tell you
if there's people out there with that much power, trying to create that much damage, it's a bit worrying.
I can tell you one thing. They are well armed and well equipped. Because when we found one, I seen him in the distance. It looked like he was wearing brand new gear. Quite literally. And
they're manufacturing as well.
That's why I hear.
They must have. Fuck. And you said, are they in Trinaris, or are you saying they're active out here as well?
Unfortunately, I heard they're here as well. quite recently as well. And it only makes sense because from what I heard as well, that they're, a lot of them are Polish. Or, German. And, Livonia is a little closer to their country from what I heard as well.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not too far from Poland.
I hear, they walk among us. They're crafty like that. You won't know they're with you because, you're skilled in espionage and things like that.
So then that means these people must have been trained before all this shit went down sideways. They had proper training before all of this happened, as if it was pre-planned.
Well, about here in Livonia, I've heard that they're here now. And it makes sense because my group, when we left the country of Chernogorsk, we were followed by a horde of biters, and they followed us all the way to the border. Thousands of biters surrounded our little cabin. We spent almost all our ammunition we had. Still didn't even kill all of them. We made enough room for us to escape to get here.
And it also makes sense why I've been seeing an increase in infected out here as well. Well, seems like every day more and more are appearing in the towns that I had just passed through, which didn't have that many, as if they're multiplying.
I've noticed there's been a lot of biters here, but unfortunately I don't know how connected it is and how many of them are here at the moment. I've only heard rumors and stories. No red flares, nothing like that, but we've heard that music has been played over the intercom, playing the classical tunes that usually would play, announcing that they're here, but occasionally they'll play a broadcast. A few different kinds. One would be a message to the people. Another one would be, you'll just hear, I think it's, what's it called, where it's just a bunch of beeping noises? I'm forgetting it. Morse code.
Morse code.
Yeah.
Morse code.
That's all I know so far about them, but I've heard a lot from a lot of people in passing.
This is very worrying news to hear, but glad to know it at least, so we're not as in the dark as we were before.
I'll tell you one thing. You find a spade, you kill a spade.
Sounds like the proper thing to do, honestly.
I don't like killing people,
Anyone who's...
but they deserve it. They're the one that caused this shit to happen in the first place. They're the reason so many lives were lost out there. It's them that caused this. And that's why we're here now.
Yeah, definitely sounds that way. I think we agree on that subject. Anyone who could do that amount of damage willingly definitely needs to be taken off this planet.
That's unfortunate. The way what we've become. Or what I've become, I guess. I don't know about you folks, but I think everybody's been through something these days.
We've all done something we weren't exactly proud of, but the best thing we can do is honor the ones we've lost and try to make up for the things we've had to do, and honor their memories. Try and put civilization, so to speak, back on the path that it was supposed to be on. See if we can redeem ourselves.
And that was the idea that man John had at New Hope before things went sour there.
Well, if he's the kind of person you make him out to seem like, or you make him out to seem like, then I'm sure he had some sort of realistic or reasoning for why he did what he did.
It's hard to say. Everybody says one thing or another about him these days. But from what I heard, he sounded like an okay person. I remember hearing people would say he wanted that place to be a place of growth, learning, a place for families to come together. They weren't military or anything like that. They were a bunch of families, farmers, and things like that. Yeah, that was his dream.
I'm completely guessing, but then I have a feeling that maybe this kid was potentially endangering that dream. How old was this kid, if you don't mind me asking?
I heard she's 16 or 17, something like that.
Okay, so it wasn't like a fucking infant or like a 5-year-old. It was someone with a pretty developed brain, capable of doing things. So then, yeah, that kind of reinforces my theory that maybe they were potentially doing something that could have endangered his dream, which would make him do the thing that he did.
Perhaps maybe just made a bad call.
That too. That could be a possibility as well.
Yeah, either way. My father taught me one thing before he drank himself to death. Never trust someone who judges a man before you know him yourself. Can't take another man's word.
That's how
And
the
I've been
game
living
of
through that once.
that's how the game of telephone goes around. One person hears one thing, then they want to go and fight too, just because they heard one rumor or another.
Yeah. I think a lot of people do that nowadays, but I mean, one reason why I go with Marauder is because he doesn't really go with the rumors. Go with the facts. Go with what we believe in.
It's what we
Everything else is a lie until proven.
exactly. Unless we have concrete evidence, there's no reason for us to do something so hastily. That's how other people get killed.
Well, that's a good way to live. Oh, are you guys some kind of military force or something? I noticed you guys are kind of wearing like a uniform or something. You guys match.
Oh yeah. We're not really military. We're just a local enforcement, you could say, at best. Trying one step at a time to make it better for people.
Around here isn't so bad most of the time, but everyone has their issues.
Yeah, people always does. Oh hey, we got a couple goats. You said heading down south?
I was gonna head south. I guess you folks are welcome to come along if you'd like.
What do you think, Jaeger?
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. Maybe getting a bit away from everyone in the beginning. Get a understanding of everything first.
Yeah.
I heard the dangerous areas down there did clear up a bit, so there's a lot to see down there. And I think there's a town at the very bottom of the country called Doplin or something like that. Starts with a D. I was thinking about heading there and making a new home or something.
I think we try that.
Yep. Might be for the best right now. Seem like you know the area a little bit more than we.
I know the north a lot better than the south, but I've been around the south a couple times, so I can get around if I have to. I want to head this way. I'm ready when you folks are as well.
Yeah, I think we're good.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah, you lead the.
Before we head down there, though, I should mention there's a lot of wolves, a lot of bears. So, guns in hand once we get into the woods. Because we don't know what we're going to come across.
Yes, sir.
Well, luckily we've come across our fair share of wolves and bears, so there's 3 of us. I think we'll be able to handle it.
Now, bears will take quite a few shots, but if we're all working on one together, they tend to go down pretty fast. So, yeah, you're saying you guys did local defense or something like that?
Yeah, so mostly where we were before, we basically tried to
Just
help.
Put it simple. We're just mercenaries. That's the easiest way of explaining it. But security's it's a more nice word. So we'll go with.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, though. If you're hired mercenaries, I would say out of most people's issues, because a lot of people around here these days seem to be very, they hold grudges. No matter if you're just doing a job or not, there's a lot of drama out there.